Hi there, this is the screen capture of the demo video for the games development company Phoenix Soul Gaming that I've created for the module Multimedia Technologies. So I'm going to start this video by opening up the Dreamweaver application and explaining the elements and the coding that I've implemented within the website. So this is the website document. It's linked to the server, done this. As such, and the design elements will be shown in the home screen. So the home screen has several elements, but all the design logo, the background, the coding, the glow effects was all implemented within Fireworks, as you can see within this folder. So I'm going to show you the Fireworks element to show how they were all designed. So each element was defined individually with the header construct. So it has the border, the Phoenix symbol, the text element, and of course the background element, which was designed within and optimized within Fireworks itself. The next thing was for the buttons, which I will show over here. They were customized from a hexadiagonal to match the written initial design of the hex objects I'd used for the header background. The gradient was applied within Photoshop and they were imported in. Down below you will see the fave icon, which is simply a miniaturized version of the initial logo, optimized to the 32 by 32 pixels to be used within the fave icon web browser. Next, what was done was the color scheme was decided upon. So I was going to use for the body text white for the background, and the background of the header to use black and dark gray. For the canvas background to use a dark gray, hashtag 333, and for the body text to apply simply a mask with a gradient effect that will carry on down. And then the menu button would be separated from the header by this border, which is also shown within here for the header. So next, what was done was every individual element was spliced within the splice tool and optimized for the website depending on what was required from it. So the header, the logos, the buttons were all optimized within PNG24. However, the fave icon, the background elements, as you can see here, the header, the menu, the buttons, the fave icon, this is a splice for the background container, for the footer, sorry, the background, and for the container, and they've all been shown within this. So next I'll explain how the website was created. So the elements were constructed within CSS and HTML5. I will just explain some of the code now. So there are several roles that have been created for this website. Initially, the container was created, which I'll explain within the styles CSS sheet. The container was for the entire body of the website. The body was optimized for the text, the header container, the content, which will be the initial text that would appear within it, any games and any embedded YouTube videos. The footer was simply the website's information, the menu URL for it to contain the buttons, and the header constructs, which were customized myself to be more apparent within the text. The only one that I did not need to optimize was header 3, which is used quite regularly. However, it did not need to be optimized at all. So as a website runs, there are 4 main body pages. However, projects and contact us can be expanded upon with hyperlinks within those menus. I'll explain that further. So as you can see within the website has been optimized for Surface Web Access within search engines. So the title has been set as Phoenix Soul Gaming. The meta description content has been described as the following. The meta name for the keywords to appear within search engines have been set with content related to the game, and the link for the fav icon has been implemented. Now within the home screen there is not much content. There is simply the shockwave animation which was created within After Effects. I will load that now. So I'll just run through the animation quickly here. This is an early prototype for it. And the animation is simply by using a fractal noise element to basically, with a shockwave puller which rotates the element, and the shockwave expands and dissipates. So the final product was by manipulating that mask, duplicating it several times, scaling and adding a color variant to each of the elements, adding a pixel poly effect to come up with the final product shown within the website here. And to end by showing the logo. So that was an After Effects animation that was embedded into the site as an MP4 format and converted and simply embedded. It is simply an embedded source image known from Unity, with the width and the height simply specified beforehand, and that is contained within the home screen element of content as shown here. Now, in order to create the menu system, they simply operate on being contained within the header div class. So that's simply the image contained within this folder, and they're simply merged within this content as a PNG format and added to the site's elements as such. The menu system was created within the same fashion, and each has a hyperlink to their corresponding site link. So the next page I'll explain will be the projects page. All this artwork was drawn by myself and was optimized within the gradient variant within Photoshop and added into the system. It'll be illustrated by these PSD files. The choice for the background was based on the color scheme chosen for the project, and as it is a game development website, this old text background was selected to match the theme within the company, a gaming company. And if you can actually zoom in within the site, you'll be able to see that it is purposely pixelated to give the old leaderboard score theme to the project. The next page, bear with me, is the completed project page. So within this page, it is optimized with the header 1 and header 2. And while I show you within the style sheet, they contain a text shadow to be more apparent within the background, because with them being the same color spectrum, there was a collision issue between the two color schemes. With the text shadow, the text is far more prominent, and that is applied to all text elements and within the body text. Now I will go to the website to show you what these are. Now there are 2 videos within the website, and they are simply embedded recorded gameplay videos that have been uploaded onto YouTube and have been embedded within the content within an iframe. And there's simply text to correspond with the video to prove details on the upcoming projects. And second, recorded gameplay video. So that is for the relevant embedded content. All videos have full functionality. All functionality is within the player for the speed and quality. A link can be pressed to watch the video within the site's website, and of course it does work within full screen. To watch on YouTube, you will be taken to YouTube itself, and there has been a YouTube channel created with the site's content with recorded gameplay, which will be maintained again within the future. That is to give the company a social media aspect, and there has also been a Facebook media page created as well. And just to show that the second video does work as well. So the next page I will show will be the upcoming projects. The site follows the same structure. This is simply a drawing I drew for an animation that will be created and released on the 18th of May. This page lists projects that would be due to be completed by Phoenix Soul Gaming, but also projects to be completed by other friends of the company. So basically projects that Phoenix Soul would be interested in are expecting to be very popular. So as with that pathway, the user can go back, they can click the projects panel, or they can simply click this link down here to access the upcoming page directly. And the content plays the same. And the page follows the same construct as such. The next aspect would be for the user controlled animation, and that is within the game's HTML page. This page can be accessed by simply going to projects, completed projects, and if you would like to play the beta version of the game yourself, simply click here. This will allow the user to play the first level of the completed project Rampage Justice. The user has full functionality. They are able to enter a full screen element by clicking this button down here. For the purpose of this video, I won't be clicking it. Oh, sorry, I've done that by accident. And the user simply accesses by hitting the escape button. And the user is able to play the game themselves. The next page is the About Us page. Simply, this contains certain information about the company for the user to access. It lists where the company was founded, what its future goals are, the location where it's held, and some information about the development team. It has myself included, Patrick Rice-Dean. It has an assistant programmer, Shane Harrigan, and a secondary programmer, Christoph Kondraki. The site is simply a simple structure. It is a template based on the div classes created in the previous pages. Simply a paragraph text formatted with the same CSS style sheet and simply modified with the header 3. But as I stated, header 3 did not need to be optimized, so it's simply the preset settings. The next page is the Contact Us page. This has information on how the users and the fans of the website would be able to get in contact with the company themselves. So there is 4 options listed here. There is the address, there is the email address, and there is 2 contact numbers to contact by office number or by fax number. The user can also click this hyperlink to go to the register page to basically create an account within the message form. user would do that by simply following this pathway. Now, this gives the user the option to register with the account. Once they've registered, they have the access to be able to click on the user form, and if they want to unsubscribe, they can follow this link here. But before I show you that, I'll explain the coding of the website. So this is optimized within PHP admin. I'm just going to log in again here. So there's two tables being created within the database. This is the initial user database, which is shown within this coding. So the coding works as by setting each of the text fields with a PHP function. So the initial form action is register PHP with the method and name register. So the permit key within this has been set as a username, but it detects it under full name. And the reason this is because the username will be the only element that will need to be unique within this field. Many users may have the same full name. However, to register with the site, you must have a unique unique username. There are two action buttons within the script. The submit form that runs the submit function, which calls this action, and calls the PHP function. Reset form simply clears all elements within the field. The PHP coding works as following. So if is set to full name, link on SQL Link Connect will pull from the localhost on the database known as CGF13STP, as shown here. It will enter the login parameters for password 1 under the user CGF-STP. Once a user has been able to access these parameters, all privileges are accessed and they are given the right to enter new data within the database. This is simply an echo error checking for the debugging network. This is the coding for adding a new user to register within the site. So this works as by simply checking my SQL query link to insert into the table known as Phoenix Soul. It will search for the elements full name, username, email, password, and gender by pulling the values full name, username, email, password, and gender. If this is successful, the echo will pull through on an account created, and this will appear simply before this link. If the user has already created an account, they will already be signed in and they will be able to access it from this link to go to the form. If they want to unsubscribe, they click this link. That takes them to this page. It follows the same construct. However, instead of register, it runs the unsubscribe PHP function. It operates under the same pretense. If is set to full name, slink, granted privileges to localhost, CGF, STP, username, password 1, under the database known as CGF13STP. It differs in that MySQL link query slink will delete from the table known as Phoenix Soul, where the username equals the username entered and the password equals the password entered. This is simply to make sure that the coding was correct. Should that not be successful and the connection is not made, it will display the not set message. Once a user has created an account, they've got the ability to access the initial link on the register page to access the form. That is done under the contact us form PHP. That will allow the user to state a content of the subject as shown here, input it under the name subject, and the body is for the comment to be added in. It operates in the same pretense as the register form. MySQL query insert two messages as the subject is message string. And simply the user can click this link had they not registered an account to go back to the register PHP. I will demonstrate how that works within the website now. So as you can see, this is the database and the demo accounts that we've set up for the purposes of this account. So if the user was to access this site, you register. So now there are a few security parameters in place to make the data more secure that is entered within this website. The first is that with the email, a valid email address must be entered. So if I was simply to enter the word alpha and try to move on to the password section, I would get a prompt stating that a valid email address must be entered. Please include an @ sign in the email address. Alpha is missing an @ sign. That means I must complete an @ symbol and complete the web address with a period. So the password also has a security measure in place that any content that's entered here will be shadowed by asterisk signs, such as if I was to type in alpha in as the password, it's meant by asterisk signs or periods. The purposes of having this field within the text was simply so the site would be able to pick up a demographic and statistics based on the gender of the users that are coming within their sites. That will be useful in census and forms where we're basically trying to manage how the market is going to change with terms of the ratio of male to female genders within the gaming industry. So for the purposes of this account, I'm simply going to enter N as the character. Once that's done, the user can click Submit Form, and that will create the account as shown with the entry: full name Joe, username Joe1, email address alpha@email.com, and the password as alpha and the gender as simply M. Now, once this loads, I'll simply log the database again, and as you can see, the new user has been entered within alphabetical order with Joe, username 1, alpha@email.com, alpha's password, and mail. Now to show how it can be done from this element, I will simply delete this from the unsubscribe to show that functionality. So if the user wanted to unsubscribe, for the purposes, I'm going to delete this information: job at job1 at job at. As you can see within the website, to unsubscribe, what is required is the username and the password. That is to secure accounts and mean that other people who aren't aware of the login parameters from one account can't modify its content. So if the user wanted to unsubscribe, they would simply enter in, bear with me, I'm just trying to make sure, job1 lowercase and job. This is simply I go making sure the connection is being made. Once I go back in, simply reload the database, and that user has been deleted. The final thing I'll explain is the message form. So if the user wanted to access the content within here, this links to the database known as messages. As you can see, there are two fields: the subject message ID and the message string, which contains the message contents. They have simply been set up as variable characters with a 500 character limit, no primary key. With the message string being the primary key. So for the purposes of this, there's a 500 character limit within the text box. I would simply type in test as the subject, and this is a test. Post. Bear with me just a few seconds while that comes through. And as you can see, that has come through on the database. And that is my site. Thank you for watching. If there's any questions available, it'll be available during the demo or by email under steen-p@ulsteremail.ac.uk. Thank you again.